Hello and welcome to a brand new show. This is the Physical Literacy Show, and my name is Ashok Nambudiri. This show is brought to you by Revsportz Global. On the show today, we have a panel, a very impressive panel, a list of individuals who have done stellar work in the area of physical literacy. But before that, let's spend a minute on what the concept of physical literacy is. Uh, the Padma Bhushan Dronacharya Award winner Pulela Gopichand actually talked about physical literacy a few months ago, where he said that numerical literacy is pretty popular in India today. So is alphabetical literacy. But when it comes to basic actions like running, crawling, jumping, walking, catching, this constitutes physical literacy. And a big area of concern is that 30 years hence, we are perhaps lagging behind what our parents or grandparents managed to do from a physical ability perspective. And that is the area and the zone of physical literacy, something that the Next Sports Group is trying to address with their outstanding app, the Fumos app. And we are here to talk about that. We are also going to talk about the concept of physical literacy, what it means for the sporting ecosystem in general, and what the vision for the group is in terms of how it can revolutionize physical literacy at a grassroots level. Joining me on the show is Dr. Hassan Kuni. He's a renowned entrepreneur with over 40 years of experience in the medical industry. He's also the CEO of MedTech Corporation and has built successful ventures across Qatar and Kerala, spanning the healthcare, hospital construction, and real estate sectors. In addition, he serves as the president of the Ideal Indian School and sits on the board of directors of the Kannur Airport. A really bunch of illustrious things to talk about there. But what I'm personally very excited is his passion for sport in general. He's the owner of the Kannur Warriors Football Club, the winner of the Kerala Super League 2025, and I'm going to talk to him about that in some detail. Also joining me on the show is Dr. Zakir Hussain. He's the director of the Department of Physical Education, University of Calicut. He's a former national long jump holder. He's also a distinguished member of the Indian Athletic Federation and serves as project officer for the 2010 Commonwealth Games. He currently leads the Indian Council of Social Science Research. He's been well known in the area of research in physical education and sports with extensive experience in sports performance, physical education, and research. I'd also like to welcome Rajesh Menon, the senior partner for Qatar and Bahrain at RSM, bringing nearly 3 decades of professional experience across emerging markets. He serves as a non-executive board member and audit committee chair for listed and regulated firms and has advised the boards of both government and private sector organizations on governance, strategy, and risk. I've also got Boria Majumdar, calls himself a Christorian, but in effect, he is a walking, talking encyclopedia of all things sport, an academic at heart, a practitioner by profession, and a complete enthusiast of all things sport by nature. Okay, so also joining me on the show is Gargi Raut with a background in professional cricket, having been part of multiple Vidarbha under 19 and 23 team camps and representing her university before transitioning successfully into sports journalism with Revsportz. Welcome, Gargi, and welcome everyone to the show. I wish you a very, very happy new year. All right, I'm going to start with Rajesh and Boria. This concept of physical literacy, what exactly is this concept? Why is it critical? Is it a new concept? Is it something that we've not seen before? If you could kindly talk us through it. Maybe Rajesh, you could start off by talking about the concept of physical literacy for our viewers.
Sure. Thank you, Ashok. Let me start by saying physical literacy is an ignored subject. It's very fundamental, but has been ignored for a very, very long time, despite some of our champions batting for it. We have our education system I have to say, have not taken appropriate measures to incorporate physical literacy. You spoke about numerical literacy. We speak about literacy when it comes to uh, subjects, math, English. There's so much of literacy that's being spoken about, but when it comes to physical literacy, it's a misunderstood concept, probably not very well explained. Maybe one of the reason, and I think we will try and break that down today into a lot more simple, parts that can be easily consumed by our listeners. So I would say physical literacy is literally the foundation for your lifelong physical activity and well-being. It's the foundation. And I would say there are 5 aspects to it. It's about inculcating in children the motivation. When I say motivation, it's a factor. First factor, it is the wanting to move. Wanting the urge to move, creating that motivation, wanting to be active. That's the first part. Second part is the confidence part of it, which is your enthusiasm to participate. The confidence comes from knowing how to move and why is it important to move. So creating that confidence in the children of being active. Then comes your physical, I would say the physical competence. Physical competence is nothing but your understanding. You know exactly what fundamental skills are, movement skills are. When you know fundamental movement skills, you are physically competent to remain active throughout your life. And that's something which physical literacy brings into the children, that particular aspect. Then the fourth aspect is about your knowledge. When I say knowledge, why is it important to move? How do you move? And having that knowledge helps you to remain physically active throughout your life. And the last one is your understanding, appreciation of how important it is to remain physically active throughout. So I think physical literacy is about teaching those fundamental movement skills, which actually equip a children to actually remain physically active throughout the life. And I give you a very simple example to understand this. And I've actually quoted this several times. Just like how your language comes to you, whether it's your own mother tongue, whether it's English, once you've been trained, it comes very naturally to you. Irrespective of where you live, which part of the world you are, you continue to use that without, it just becomes muscle memory. Same thing, you look at a kid who has been actually taught how to catch a ball at a very young age, which is a specific sporting skill, which is also part of your physical literacy. In his lifetime, when a ball is thrown at him, his immediate reaction is to actually catch the ball. You take another kid who has never been exposed to this particular skill of how to catch a ball, lifetime, anywhere, any part of the world, when a ball is thrown at him, his first instinct is to duck for cover. I think every single thing, which is your fundamental movement skills, whether it's walking, whether it's running, whether it's dodging, whether it's hopping, all of these skills, unless it is taught and instilled in the children in the right manner, because every skill requires them to understand there are some key takeaways for every skill. And I would say, probably someone like Sakir, when he takes us through his journey, will be more able to understand what difference it makes in a sports person life. So you have the more elite sports people who would have actually, physical literacy at a very young age would have made a difference to their career. But for people who are generally not, who are not sports people, not professionals, but who want to be physically active throughout life, I think physical literacy at a very young age is the driver for that. It's the foundation, and there is no escape.
Amazing. In fact, you've alluded to something that Pulela Gopichand actually talked about, and that transformed his vision actually when he asked somebody, to a little 15-year-old child, to actually catch a shuttle. He threw a shuttle, And the child fumbled and came back to him and said, "Can you show me how to do it? Can you teach me how to do it?" And what you said in terms of the 5 principles, it resonates so much. I'll go across to Boria. Boria, I know you're going to talk about the Gopichand example, but from your perspective, what's the criticality of physical literacy?
See, it's basically active lifestyle. Rajesh elaborated on it quite beautifully. I'll keep it simple for our viewers. It's active lifestyle, and that is what we are lacking in India. And the moment you don't inculcate active lifestyle from a very young age, you evolve into a society where problems of diabetes and obesity and other kinds of physical ailment creep in. So it's very basic. Just like you go to school to study maths or science, you also have to gain physical literacy to be a better individual and a better society. As far as we are concerned, it is so basic that when we were growing up, we would just normally come back from school or even during school hours, go and play. But now when I see my children, it's either the mobile gadget or some kind of technology. But people going out into the field and just walking around or running doesn't make part of our basic lives in India. And that's where I think, in a more scientific manner, if people are able to explain the importance of physical literacy to this generation of Indians, which is what Revsportz and Fumos are doing, I think it makes that much more meaning, because clearly this is now a lost part of our lives. And it was so basic some years back that we had started to take it for granted. And that's why, when you ask, why is it not part of it? Did Ashok go for a walk? Did Dr. Hassan do that? Did Gargi just naturally go and play and enjoy? If Dr. Sakir do the same and Rajesh and I do the same? Yes, we did. But why is it that a 6, 7, 8, 10-year-old Indian is not doing the same? Because it was so ingrained in us that all of a sudden we have realized that we can now play with mobile gadgets and technology and perhaps use time better. We are fundamentally wrong. That's why this show is that kind of, is so much important, because ultimately, for the basis of a healthier, good, evolving society which prides on youth, which wants to host international sports events, it has to be sport for all and not elite high performance athletes. And at the root of it has to be physical literacy.
Brilliantly explained. Boria, you talked about the need for scientific explanation of the concept. And that's a perfect segue for me to ask Rajesh. The Fumos app, I understand it basically relies on scientific, data-based, process-oriented way of disseminating physical literacy to school students. If you could walk us through, what is the Fumos app? What does it do?
So I'll start a little bit with very quickly explaining what was the burning platform, the genesis of Fumos. I think it starts with how our physical education, how we approach physical education in India, and to be honest, to generalize, it's true that physical education lacks structure. When I say structure, the way one school approaches physical education is very different from the way another school approaches. So there's no grade-wise progression. There is no skill building that goes on. So that part of it was one part where we realized there is no structure. It's unstructured. Second part was about measuring. There was no measurement tool. I mean, today you can understand how physical, when you teach physics, when you teach math, you are able to actually track the performance of students. But in PE education, there was no method, there was no framework, grade-wise progression for that matter, skill building, there was no way to measure. So it was impossible, it's impossible for schools, children, every single stakeholder involved to know how students are performing. Third one, the natural outcome of these two was early disengagement. Students actually disengaged very quickly, very rapidly. They said thank you very much to physical education. And inevitably, it became a backfill for other mainstream subjects in schools. PE classes are nothing but a backfill. So we realized that there is a need to actually drive physical education in a structured manner, with physical literacy being at the center of it, to drive a platform which would deliver physical education, comprehensive physical education to students from KG1 to grade 7. And the reason why we have selected is our research across some of those more leading Olympic nations tell you that the KG1 to grade 7, which is your age from, let's say, 3 to 12, is where kids actually learn skills. They accumulate skills. They are not asked to go and take up a sport and say, at the age of 8, become a Tendulkar. It doesn't happen that way. This is about a very consistent skill progression that we need to have, and that is exactly what led us to develop Fumos. So Fumos, in simple word, is a digital platform for physical education for schools from KG1 to grade 7, built on the concept of physical literacy. So that's Fumos to start with. So it's built with interactive multimedia lessons. You have skill building, which happens on a progressive manner. You have personalized activities, but at the center of it, you have fundamentals movement skills and fundamental sporting skills, which actually drive physical literacy in students. And just to complete, Fumos app today has got 2 pillars to it. One is your physical literacy and one is your health literacy, which is also equally important. While physical literacy, we spoke about it, where physical literacy is, every grade, which is, grade 1 to grade 7. If you look at it, and we'll, in the later part of our show, we probably would have a demo where you can actually understand how structured the skill building happens in students. Similarly, they are also exposed to all healthy way of living. So it includes your healthy habits, what to eat, what not to eat, what's the importance of being, how do you remain safe, hygiene factors. So it is all encompassing, I would say, a very holistic approach to physical education that Fumos have taken. But we also felt at a very early stage that if you want to teach physical education, it has to be more visual, which is why Fumos actually teaches skills by, showing videos which are real videos. No animation. Is actually kids of the appropriate age are demoing every skill, which makes learning much more easier and visual. So I think that's probably what Fumos is in a nutshell.
Thank you, Rajesh. Very inspiring. I'm going to ask Boria a quick question. What Rajesh spoke about the Fumos app. It looks like there is an opportunity lost in terms of, what Rajesh mentioned in terms of the free period or other subjects coming in as a backfill. It looks like there could be an opportunity lost for a lot of Indian students at an early stage to have lost out the opportunity to play sport at any level because of the lack of something like this?
Yeah, I'll keep it very short because other speakers also need to come in, Ashok. I mean, if you remember, we used to have this period called SUPW in school. It was supposed to be called, and we actually, all of us named it some useful periods wasted. That's big. That's what SUPW transferred into, right? I mean, it was basically gossip time. It was basically banter time. It was whatever but physical education. So Rajesh is spot on. From an early age, a pejorative, negative connotation is attached, which is why in the United States, physical education is now called kinesiology. That passes off as a fancy name. So where you have to now drill this in, and that's why I think the Fumos app, this is a tech age, this is a data age, this is a measure age. The moment you are able to club all of these together and give it to the youth of India, saying, look, here is a measurable, quantifiable system by which you can inculcate physical literacy in people, this entire pejorative negative connotation can be addressed, which is what started to creep in from our time.
Brilliant. Okay, let's go back to you, Rajesh. If you could help us understand Nextsports, what the vision for the organization is, and then we will jump across to Dr. Hassan for all the interesting information about the football franchise. Rajesh, Nextsports.
So just to keep it very simple, sorry Ashok, just to keep it very simple, Nextsports was set up or incorporated with one single objective in mind, was to develop a comprehensive physical education platform, a curriculum that will deliver physical literacy to children from KG1 to grade 7. That's it. We are not into any other business. That's one single objective that we have. We don't do any other sports equipment trading, nothing. We only focused on this, and we will remain focused on this cause.
Brilliant, brilliant. I think that's beautifully summarized. Okay, so Dr. Hassan, many congratulations to you, sir, for your team having won the last edition of the Kerala Super League. We're very keen to know, where does this passion for sports and physical literacy, where does this come from? Why did you invest in a football franchise? And perhaps what's the way forward for next sports? I know a lot of questions there, but over to you, sir.
Before Dr. Hassan answers, before the final, you had spoken to us. So we are honorary
Yes.
brand ambassadors from next year. We are the ones who made you win. I hope you realize. So the party.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Ashok, yes, I will start with the first question, the football. Yeah, football is a passion for me in any way. And I'm coming from a place called Kannur. Kannur is in Kerala, the one of the district is the football is not only a passion, it is the life of the people. People love so much, and the if you consider in all India, after Calcutta, after the West Bengal, the Kerala, the Malabar area, especially Kannur, was the football place in India. So football were everywhere in Kannur and Kannur district for a long time. But last 15 years, the glory of Kannur as a football district has lost because of many reasons. Because of the lack of the proper training ground, the stadiums, and a lot of people travel, the youngsters traveling to the Gulf. So there was a vacuum created, and that led to football being sidelined for a long time. So when I have had a chance to have a club in Super League Kerala, when the Super League Kerala people approached me for Kannur, I did not have any hesitation to take it. I know this is is a big responsibility, and it has huge financial commitment. Though I thought I am investing in right sports and right product, and there is a future for this. Fortunately, the first season and second season has shown that my sorry, my decision was not wrong. The first season we did not have a home ground because of the ground was very bad shape. So the second season we insisted to have the ground, and we invested money in the ground. We brought the floodlight, we have made the grass proper, we have leveled everything, and we have chance to have a home ground. We played 5 home ground matches. uh, all the matches, the stadium was full of the people. Actually, the first day there was a 45,000 people gathered, and the capacity of the stadium was 25,000. 20,000 people were outside the stadium waiting for the entry, and there was a lathi charges. The police has been in a very difficult situation to control the crowd. That is the crowd in the first day. The second day, we have changed some strategy. We have brought the people down and increasing the price of the ticket and everything. Though even though that was a full, all the games were full. Then we have, fortunately, we got a chance to have the final match in Kannur because of it was supposed to be Calicut. There was some Shah Rukh Khan program pre-planned in Calicut ground, so they have to shift to the next best ground is Kannur, best the crowded place in Kannur. So they have given a chance to have, but we fortunately reached the final. And we had to have a final in Kannur. The Kannur Warriors in final. We won the trophy. It was a huge win, not as a football I win. I have won the heart of all entire Kannur crowd. Even yesterday, I had a honor given by the community. I have been honored here, bringing the glory back, the football back to Kannur. And I think there is a future. There is a future for football. There is a future for sports. That also linked to my relation with the next sports. When Mr. Rajesh approached me, Rajesh very beautifully narrated what is our Fumos app. And I think there is nothing more I can add that he has beautifully narrated and added, Mr. Uria has added the other ingredients to that. And I have personally thought there is a huge vacuum in the physical literacy in India because all these years, we are in the very backward situation when the sports comes. The football, even football, we are 120 places all over the world. The small country of 100,000, 200,000 are in the football map. We are not there. So we in every sports, every athletics, every game, India is not reaching that place. So we have 150 crore people. We could not do that. The main reason is our the physical literacy structuring is wrong, or we don't have adequate resource in the schools from the very beginning. So that's the reason when the next sports, the 5 years of the research and the studying the how to bring a digital physical education app, it was not happened overnight. There is a 5 years of the effort, the research, the interaction with the renowned sports people. So we brought something which can change the sports in a dramatic and drastic way. And as Mr. Rajesh mentioned, the physical education is always been a backfill. We even for my time, the physical education PE classes are just a chat classes, as Baria mentioned that. So now it is a time for India to awaken. And in the sports, the sports is the one of the biggest industry in the world, and that industry can bring money, health, and the jobs for our people, because the sports is becoming more and more commercial and more and more the amateur. So there is a space, there is a huge space which is not there in India. I believe the Fumos as an answer for it. We brought something which is not existing at the moment in India. Even our Mr. Ferguson mentioned he did not even see anywhere in the world such a product somebody has endeavored to do, which is thanks to my team, Rajesh and Mr. Shakir is there. These people have done their 5 years hard work to bring this, and I hope we have brought something very near to the perfection. We are not. I'm not saying we have. I'm completely perfect. We can add more. We can make changes. Which because when it comes to the market, when it comes to the school level, there may be a suggestion coming from there. We are ready to include that changes to make it more perfect or more near to the completion. So I have very good hope in this Fumos app, which one day will be a talk of the in India, talk of a sports world.
Fantastic. Very pioneering and I think truly visionary. I'll go across to you, Dr. Zakir Hussain. And I've been waiting for this part of the conversation. Your profile is really fascinating. You started out as an athlete, and now you are an administrator and a practitioner. We're very keen to know what happened along your journey as an athlete and to a practitioner, and what are the key learnings along the way. Dr. Sen?
Yeah, thank you, Ashok. I started my sports career when I was very young. Sports became a big part of my life, definitely. I was a national record holder in long jump. Also, I participated in 100 meters. I won the medals in 4 into 100 meters relay for the university and all India inter-university championships and national championship. That taught me a lot of discipline, hard work, and always trying to get better. Now, I am working as the director of physical education in a reputed university. Produced many international athletes like Dr. P.T. Usha, Anju Bobby George, Mercy Kutan, Jimmy George. Many international athletes like now the Sri Shankar is there. So we have produced lot of Olympians, Arjuna awardees. Then see all the awards which contributed by the country. That's all from the University of Calicut. The athletes like I told you, P.T. Usha and other distinguished persons. I also served as I also served as the project officer in Commonwealth Games 2010. This was a big experience for me to learn many things like international standard, how to conduct a championship, these are the things. And also I won the best director award, JPR award of Tamil Nadu. And as the director of physical education, I brought international standard sports facilities in my university and my state also. And now I am a member of Athletic Federation of India. I'm doing more works for our country to develop the standard of international standard of athletics, especially Neeraj Chopra, many international athletes. They won prestigious to our country. That means the Olympic medal, and so we hope for the better. So when I was an athlete, I had a big mistake in my arm movement. So which took me more than 6 months to correct it. So when I learned this from my early age, it will be more easy for maybe I will be an international athlete. So that mistake made me lot of problems. So I took more lot of time to correct it. So that's why we think it over. We have worked for last five years. Why our country is lagging? Why our country is not coming up to the international standard? Only limited medals are coming to our country. So how to overcome this situation? So except cricket or badminton, you take another games, all games. It is behind the curtain. So how we will develop this? How to become as the number one in the world? So we gone through the many curriculums in the Australia, Canada, all these things. We have research on it. Fortunately, I started to work with this physical literacy program, and I submitted a proposal to ICSR, Indian Council for Social Science and Research. Fortunately, they got they awarded 1.5 crores for the study, to conduct a study in 4 states. We have started in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Karnataka. It's almost 1 year is going to complete. So this is a 4-year program. So we believe the outcome of this research study will be the sports policy of our country. So we believe that. That is only because of physical literacy. The only way. There is no other option. So physical literacy, physical activity, the Supreme Court has announced an amicus curiae to study about the health aspect of our country. So what is their statement? Their findings is physical education, physical activity is a fundamental right of a student. Nobody can deny it. But what is happening now? So the schools are denying. They are not giving the sufficient hours. So this is my fight for against these things. This is the need of the hour. Health is the need of the hour. Physical literacy is the need of the hour. So we have to work on it. It is not a single argument. So it is a combined argument. So we can stand together. So we will make a milestone. We'll make good things to happen. We hope for the best. Yeah. That is my opinion about physical literacy. And as an athlete, as an administrator, I am speaking loudly. Physical literacy is the need of the hour.
Yeah, I think that's beautifully explained, Dr. Sen. Thank you for that. And finally, I'm going to go across to you, Gargi. Gargi, look, you've played cricket at the university level. You've, now become a journalist. You're commenting on sports, multi-disciplines. What is your take on this program? What Next Sports is doing in terms of vision and the Fumos app. How do you think you could have benefited when you were starting out?
As someone who grew up playing a lot of sports across multiple levels, without really having a language for it, honestly, and looking back on this entire journey of mine in sports, I did not really have the permission and confidence to move. Now, I don't mean that in the literal sense. What I mean is, when I started out, sport was very outcome driven. Throughout my career in sport, it was always about the result. You were either good enough or you drifted away. And a physical literacy program like this shifts that focus from performance to actually foundational movement that actually a lot of kids need. They need body awareness. They need joy in the sport. Not They don't always have to worry about getting selected or winning the matches every single time, and that matters immensely, especially for young girls. And looking back, if something like this existed when I started out in sports, it would have given me immense confidence before competition actually began, because I've seen several girls drop out not because they lack the ability, but because they feel awkward, they feel shy, they feel slow or out of place in their bodies. And basics movement skills like running, jumping, throwing, balancing, coordinating, these all of these things, teaching young girls all of these things without judgment builds a lot of confidence before results come into play. The other thing is, it also gives you a lot of freedom from labels. I was lucky enough that I persisted for so long in sport, but many girls are told very early on that they're not athletic, that they throw like a girl, they run like a girl, things like that. And physical literacy delays that, education in physical literacy delays that labeling and allows talent to reveal itself later, especially for a lot of younger girls. They are late bloomers. And of course, you also have to talk about something that is very important, which is having a long term relationship with sport. Instead of seeing sport as something that you're either good at or bad at, physical literacy teaches you that movement is obviously a skill that you grow into, and that mindset stays with you long after competitive sport actually ends. I am still a fitness freak. I go to the gym 5 times a week, 6 times a week. And in short, what I want to say is, if I had something like this, it would have made my early sporting years less about proving myself and more about discovering myself, discovering confidence, self-confidence through movement. And that's what programs like these stand for.
Absolutely. And like Dr. Zakir Hussain said, it's the fundamental right for children as they grow up. Okay, so it's time to wrap up this show. What I really find interesting is that we've got on the show a bunch of interesting, diverse backgrounds. We have an investor, we have professionals, we have practitioners, we have athletes who have turned administrators. So we've got everyone possible who can actually comment on a subject like this. And we've talked about Next Sports Vision. We've talked about the Fumos app. And there is so much more to speak about when it comes to physical literacy. Thank you, Gargi, and thank you, gentlemen, for gracing the show. Viewers, keep watching this space as we come back to you with so many more aspects of this fascinating subject called physical literacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.